Hey, what's up, people? Pizowell here, and today I've got another viewer-requested video for you guys. This one courtesy of my buddy Alberto, who posts in the forum section on my website requesting that I discuss movies that are still only available on VHS, but are worth seeking out and watching. So what I decided to do was compile a list of movies that have yet to make that jump from VHS to DVD and Blu-ray, but movies that I think are deserving of a DVD and Blu-ray release. I also decided to compile a short list of movies that made the jump to DVD but have not yet received a Blu-ray release, movies that I think are very much deserving of a Blu-ray release. So Alberto, I hope you enjoy this video, and if any of you guys out there have a review request or a topic suggestion that you'd like to share with me, do so over on my website, pizowell.com, in the forum section, or follow the link in the description. 1988's Paper House is about a little girl named Anna who discovers that she can escape the loneliness of her world by entering into another one, occupied by a small house and an equally lonely little boy, both of which she's drawn in her school exercise book. The more detailed her drawing, the more detailed her dream world becomes. The longer she remains in her dream world, the more difficult it is for her to leave. Director Bernard Rose paints a beautiful and surreal portrait here, both gripping and deeply moving. The film sports an excellent score by Hans Zimmer, and the set design of the dream world is, for lack of a better word, perfectly dreamlike. The film explores the wonderment of childhood, full of fantasy and play, and the dread of having to grow up, perfectly realized in Anna's turmoil over her separated father. The film received a DVD release in the UK, but nothing in the US. Lionsgate reportedly holds the rights, but have no current plans to release a DVD or Blu-ray anytime in the near future. A shame. Michael Mann's second feature film is an ambitious, surreal, and slightly misguided oddity set during World War II, in which German soldiers unknowingly set free an ancient entity that is none too happy with their treatment of the Jews. The keep is beautifully dark, lushly photographed, and steeped in an atmosphere of dreamlike dread. It's a movie you just have to succumb to, even if you can't quite follow what's going on. Mann's original cut of the film ran 3 hours in length and was subsequently cut in half by its studio Paramount. The film flopped hard at the box office and was panned by critics. Mann is so reportedly unhappy with the film that he refuses to discuss it in interviews even to this day, and has no desire to revisit the film for a DVD or Blu-ray release. Add to that the reported rights issues associated with the Tangerine Dream soundtrack, and you have a film whose possibilities for a future Blu-ray release are more bleak and ambiguous than the movie itself. You can stream The Keep right now in HD on Amazon, a transfer most likely sourced from the Laserdisc. See the link in the description. I did a full review of The Keep for my series The Lost a couple years ago, so for a more in-depth discussion of the film, check out that review. Link in the description. I first discovered Summer Camp Nightmare in the horror section of my local video store. Considering its placement and the title, I expected a horror film in the vein of Sleepaway Camp, The Burning, or any other camp slasher movie of the 80s. What I got was far more akin to Lord of the Flies, albeit a very 80s Lord of the Flies. The movie is set at a boys' summer camp where the campers stage a revolt against their strict counselors. Once they've taken the camp, their newfound freedom is all good, but things soon spiral out of control. Summer Camp Nightmare has its fair share of cheesy moments, including a very humorous musical number entitled Beef Baloney. Look it up. But when the movie turns serious, it's dead serious, even downright dark, as factions among the rebels are formed and disloyalty is punished severely. Summer Camp Nightmare isn't a lost classic by any stretch, but it deserves to see the light of day for its genre-bending combination of humor and horror. Oh, and that Beef Baloney number is pretty darn epic. The movie was co-written by Penelope Spheris, who went on to direct the acclaimed documentary The Decline of Western Civilization Part 2, The Metal Years, and the blockbuster Wayne's World. 1986's Spookies focuses on an eclectic group of people consisting of punks, hippies, and yuppies, all out looking for a party. Eventually they come across what appears to be an abandoned mansion with a cemetery in the front yard. Sounds like the perfect party pad to me. As it turns out, the mansion is home to an evil sorcerer and his menagerie of monsters. Soon the group is separated and fall prey to spider women, zombies, farting dirt monsters, and even Death himself, the Grim Reaper, makes an appearance. The strong makeup effects in Spookies are overshadowed by the film's complete absence of focus and patchwork editing. Spookies eventually throws any semblance of plot out the window and turns into a gonzo monster movie with a different creature lurking behind every door. Many of the film's faults can be explained by its rocky road to release. Spookies actually began as a film entitled Twisted Souls, but during the editing process, the film's financial backer brought on a new director and ordered additional footage be shot. The result is an uneven, meandering, but entertaining mess of a movie that follows the logic, or lack thereof, of a nightmare. It's the film's nightmarish qualities that made Spookies one of the rare films that legitimately creeped me out as a kid, which makes it near and dear to my heart. The film was also a mainstay on USA Up All Night, another plus in my book. The rights to Spookies have changed hands over the years and were last reportedly with Lionsgate. I did a full review of Spookies for my series File 13 a few years ago. Link in the description. Psycho Cop is one of my all-time favorite good-bad flicks, in which a group of hopelessly clueless young people find themselves stalked by a Satan-worshipping, one-liner-spewing psychotic officer of the law. The movie has all the earmarks of a film shot over the course of a long weekend and is loaded with dialogue that had to be improvised on the spot. Psycho Cop also features some of the dumbest characters in horror movie history, and the film is loaded with technical and continuity errors. Also, here's a fun drinking game. Take a shot every time someone in Psycho Cop mentions the caretaker. You'll be passed out or dead from alcohol poisoning within the first 20 minutes. The movie features a scene-stealing, scenery-chewing performance from Bobby Ray Schaefer as the Psycho Cop, and his one-liners are so cheesy they're pretty hilarious. Earlier this year, the sequel Psycho Cop Returns was given a very nice Blu-ray release by Vinegar Syndrome. Hopefully this means Psycho Cop won't have to remain silent in DVD Blu-ray limbo much longer. For full reviews of Psycho Cop and the Psycho Cop Returns Blu-ray release, follow the links in the description. Attempting to capitalize on the BMX craze of the mid-80s, Rad focuses on a young man following his dream of becoming a professional BMX racer. The movie features all the accoutrements of 80s cinema: big hair, ridiculous fashion, and a rockin' soundtrack. The cherry atop this cheesy sundae is a slow-mo dance sequence featuring totally radical BMX tricks to the tune of real-life Send Me an Angel. Rad suffered the same fate as Michael Mann's The Keep, in that it did dismal business upon its release in 1986, only to eventually find a rabid fan base on VHS and cable television, and, like The Keep, rights issues related to the movie's soundtrack have reportedly kept it from receiving a release on DVD or Blu-ray to this day. An HD version of Rad does appear periodically on cable television. For my full review of Rad, see the link in the description. Robert Harmon's ultra-violent and beautifully photographed road thriller The Hitcher is crying out for a high-quality collector's edition Blu-ray release, featuring an all-new transfer and a litany of extras. The Hitcher received a pretty nice DVD release in the UK, including a commentary track and making-of featurette. The US DVD was bare bones. The Hitcher deserves far, far better. I did a viewer-requested review of The Hitcher a few years ago. Follow the link in the description to check it out. Candyman, based on a story by Clive Barker and directed by Bernard Rose, his second film on this list, is a fascinating take on the power of urban legends and introduced the world to a unique new horror villain in the form of Candyman. Tony Todd's debonair and chilling performance as Candyman instantly placed the character alongside such Hall of Fame baddies as Freddy and Jason. But Candyman isn't just another slasher movie. Candyman's true strengths lie in its compelling storytelling, strong direction, and a great cast. The sequel received a Scream Factory Blu-ray, but regardless of how many times you say his name in the mirror, a Candyman Blu-ray just won't appear, at least in the US. Candyman deserves the kind of Blu-ray treatment reserved only for the sweetest of the sweet, with an all-new transfer, commentary, and extras. Lucky McKee's May was an indie hit back in 2002 and received a pretty nice DVD release from Lionsgate. That release sports one of the most entertaining commentary tracks I've ever listened to. However, the movie never found its way onto Blu-ray. May is also a film I don't hear very many people talk about anymore, which is a real shame. Angela Bettis shines in the lead role as a socially awkward young woman who finds it much easier to make a friend than it is to make friends. Confused? Allow me to explain. May sets out to make the perfect friend by using the choicest body parts she can find, removing said body parts from their uncooperative owners, and stitch them together to create the perfect pal. I love this movie. Follow the link in the description for my full review of May. A more than worthy sequel to the original Fright Night 2 finds Charlie Brewster in the clutches of Jerry Dandridge's sister, played with an unrelenting eroticism by Julie Carmen and her band of colorful vampire misfits. Here's one fans have been begging for forever. Frat Night 2 received a DVD release from Artisan Entertainment in 2003, a release that quickly went out of print. That release now fetches a priestly sum online, but unfortunately sports a less than stellar transfer and no extras. The movie has been available in other countries on Blu-ray and can be found occasionally on cable television in HD. A bootlegged Blu-ray sourced from the television release has been available for years. Frat Night 2 deserves much, much better. So there you have it, my list of movies that are still only available on VHS but are worth seeking out and watching, as well as a few movies that made the jump to DVD but are deserving of Blu-ray releases. Alberto, I hope you liked the video. If any of you guys out there have any movies that have not made the jump to DVD or Blu-ray that you think are deserving of that jump, please let me know what they are down in the comments section below. If you have a review request or a topic suggestion, head over to my website, pizowell.com, and post them in the forum section or follow the link in the description. If you like this video, please leave it a thumbs up. If you're not following me on social media, those links are in the description. As always, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Take care, and until next time, peace. Say hello to the internet, Jeremy.
Hello to the internet.